بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Alhamdulillah. So for this second lesson, what I would like to share is the Arabic letters and how they look like in other forms, because I feel that is essential as part of your learning of the Arabic letters, because they change form in terms of the position that they are at in any particular word. So these are examples of the different forms of each letter when they are alone, when they are at the beginning of a word, when they are at the middle of a word, and when they are at the end of a word. So if you were to look at this, the first one, okay, there's alif. As you can see that when it doesn't have a form of its own when it's at the beginning, nor it has a form of its own when it's in the middle, and it doesn't have a form of its own when it's at the end. It has a form of its own at the end like that. That's how it looks like. Okay, if you look at ba, okay, alone, it looks like that, right? Okay, for the letter ba at the beginning of a word, it will have that form. Okay, remember that each one of these letters, they have a unique trait of their own. Okay, and ba, even at the beginning, it has its own unique look. If you look through all the rest of the letters, they all have their own look. Like even though ba, ta, and tha, ba, this one, ta, this one, and ja, for this one, even though they have the same body, but their dots is what set them apart from one another. Then when you look at the next one, jim, ha, ho, they have the same body, but what sets them apart is the position of the dots. Okay, so when we look at ba, the beginning looks like this, and if it's found in the middle of a word, it looks like this, and at the end, it looks like that. And ta is the same. What it sets them apart is the two dots. Okay, and then you just look at the other letters, jim, how it looks like in the middle and how it looks like at the end. Ha, the same. What sets ha apart is that it doesn't have any dot on it. And then ho, what sets it apart is that the dot is on top. But when you look at the letter dal, okay, it doesn't have a form in the beginning, it doesn't have a form in the middle, there's only one at the end. Same for the. For the letter dal, doesn't have a beginning, middle, it only has at the end. Same as raw. Raw only has at the end. Za is the same. Sin has beginning, middle, and at the end. Pretty much what it retains is the teeth-like look of it. That remains the same when it's at the beginning and the middle. The sin, letter sin, it loses the tail. It only retains the jagged teeth looking part of his body. And then the letter shim, okay, still only the jagged teeth-like shape, but it retains the dots that sets it apart from the letter Sa, and that's how it has its own identity. So for the letter Sod, okay, it retains the head, but it loses the tail when it comes to the middle and the beginning part of Sod. Okay, for letter Do, same like Sod, but has a tiny dot on top of it. Then when you look at the other letters like To, okay, To pretty much very similar looking to the letter when it's alone, and same as Do, they look the same. Just that Do has that dot on it, on its head. For Ain, okay, when it's at the beginning, it loses the bottom part of its body, and then when it's at the middle, it has very interesting shape that can make it look very different. Just make sure that you can recognize um, the shape of it. It kind of looks like the pi symbol in math. Okay, yeah. So towards the end, it's having a very close up head, and it retains the body. For the letter Ra, it's the same, just with the dot. The Fa, beginning of Fa looks pretty much like the normal Fa, but the middle of Fa, it looks very different. Yeah, I mean, we still can see that it's the head. And then basically when you look at Fa and Ko, they are very similar, just that Ko has two dots on top. For the letter Ka, alone it is looking like that, with the letter L and then tiny S in it. And then at the beginning of letter, the Ka has only that look. In the middle, it retains a similar look. When Ka is at the middle and at the middle, beginning and at the middle, it looks very different from the standalone, the letter Ka on its own. Okay, when the letter Ka at the end of a word, it looks pretty much the same as the Ka when it's alone. Okay, for the letter Lam, it's pretty much, you can see it's pretty much very obvious, and none of the other letters pretty much share how it looks like. And for the next one is the letter Mim. Okay, letter Mim alone, it looks like that. Beginning, middle, and they look, when it's at the beginning and the middle, they look the same with each other, but at the end of it, just with the longer tail. The letter Na, okay, alone is very obvious, you can tell it apart. At the beginning and at the middle, it's a very different look. You might confuse it with like Ba, shape of Ba, but do remember, like I said, what sets them apart is their dots also. There's no other letter that looks like this. Okay. Even if it's similar to Ba, but Ba has dot at the bottom. Ha, on the other hand, it's like three different look. One is this, the beginning, middle, and end. Okay. Wow is pretty much easy because it looks the same on its own, and beginning, middle doesn't have, and at the end it does have, but it looks the same. Yeah, also very unique. It has two dots at the bottom. I believe if you look at the other letters, you won't see any two dots at the bottom. And the next one is Hamza. Okay, next one is Hamza on its own. it looks either like this, like just a hook, or it looks like the Hamza on top of the Alif. And then at the beginning of a word, Hamza can look like in this form. Middle, it looks like that. And last, it looks like that. So at the beginning, I feel this is a little bit can be confusing, but just remember that each one of them they have their own unique characteristic in terms of how they look like, their physical appearance. The first thing, of course, you need to remember how they look like when they're alone. And then the next thing you need to remember is how they look like when they are in as a part of a word. How they look like at the beginning, how they look when they are found at the beginning of the letter, at the word, the middle part of the word, or the end part of the word. Because you need to be able to distinguish them, because some of them may look similar to one another, and that's what confuses you at the beginning. So to be able to tell them apart, okay, then that's what will really help you. I hope this is beneficial for you. Inshallah, we will have another lesson for lesson 3, and we still talk about these letters, of the Arabic letters that's found in the Quran. Thank you so much for watching. Inshallah, we'll see you guys again.